the place. It probably keeps people away from here, and there's no role for it anymore. And so I want to point, but they don't do that. They never do it. And when they do say something, they always hedge a bit by going into this freedom of speech issue, as though there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do in the face of freedom of speech. Well, let me give you an example of what could have been done. There's about a year ago, just after the death of Freddie Gray in Baltimore, there was an incident at Illinois State University. There was a Twitter posting, I've got it here. There's a Twitter posting about a car, and there's 20 monkeys crawling over the car. And then right next to it is a picture of part of the disruption in Baltimore. And there's a car, and there's African-American males, some of whom are on the car. So he's comparing this to monkeys, right? So obviously with some racial animus. Well, some of the faculty, some of the students, the NAACP in Bloomington got angry about this, and they contacted the university president. And the president issued a statement about this. Let me just read you a portion of the statement, so you get an idea of what somebody with some courage and leadership can actually do for an institution. I think you'll be shocked at what this man said in response, and what we never, ever, ever hear here. So he goes, "This afternoon I met with student leaders from the Illinois State University chapter of the NAACP. The organization is planning a rally that begins at noon Friday, May 1st. I encourage you to attend." I encourage you to attend. The idea for the rally was sparked by a racially charged Twitter posting. Although the posting has been removed and the Twitter account has no connection with the university, it does have the letters ISU, Illinois State University, associated with the account. Listen to this. "This small-minded posting may have prompted our students to take action, but we all know it is another example of abusive, intolerant, and often racist opinions and actions happening across the country." Then he goes on to say, so he's not pulling any punches at this point, right? Then he goes into the freedom of speech issue, right? And when I first read this, my heart dropped a little bit. Oh, God, are you going to, I'm just going to weasel out of it now. But he goes, "The United States Constitution protects our right of free speech, but it also enables cowards to hide behind anonymous social media handles and distribute vile and often racist content. It is not nearly enough to dismiss these individuals as fools or bigots. We must continue to speak out and act to condemn and stop such behavior. I applaud our student leaders for taking action." Then he goes on to state that diversity is a core value at ISU, and he says, "Those of you who know me or who have heard me speak understand how strongly I feel about Illinois State's core values. To those who cannot or will not respect these values, I invite you to follow your pursuits somewhere else." Right? So he tells them, the hell away from here if you don't want to live by these rules. This is what we are as a community. You're disruptive, leave. It's okay, go. That's what this university needs to say. I want to know from the chancellor, I want to know from the new president, what is the difference between these two pictures posted a year ago that garnered this response from the president of the university and, oh man, do I want to use foul language? I just want to use the foulest language you can imagine. So just imagine foul language. What's the difference between this and blank, 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 Ivan Dozier or his successor coming out at halftime in a game in that stupid costume? What is the difference? And Dozier doing that, or whoever the successor is going to be, doesn't garner it. There's no response. There's no comment. It just happens, right? And then the crowd goes into the other kind of behavior. Within the past week, apparently, there was some in front of the Latino study building. I don't know if that's La Casa, and I don't know what the difference is anymore. But there was some chalking, apparently, build the wall, Trump deportation force. I haven't seen, the chancellor sent out an email, I haven't seen the email, but the Gazette had a summary of it yesterday, and it is just the most wishy-washy statement you can imagine. You know? So you can Google and find the ISU statement. Compare it to the way this university responds, and keep in mind that Illiniwek's appearance doesn't garner any response. They dismissed that mascot from this university because trouble was made with the NCAA, right? They were going to lose their ability. The straw that broke the camel's back was the NCAA telling them they weren't going to be able to hold postseason tournaments or something. But they never said, well, and by the way, even if that weren't true, this is just disgusting and probably about close to 90 years in anachronism. Anyway, that's my